Welcome to Citizens of the Rave, episode 7. Today we have a DJ duo, bass house duo, Terra, joining us from Toronto. These guys are fairly brand new, but they have been putting out some absolutely filthy tracks that are getting some really big support. And based on talking to them and their songs, of course, I think these guys are going to do really well because they've got the right mindset, and I can tell that they're really doing it from the heart.
Yes, and big thanks to Paps, and in case you haven't already guessed, we are giving away this custom retro boombox. Plays cassettes and Bluetooth. Whether you're chilling at the beach in 2021 or Back to the Future in 1986, it's got you covered. With that, you will get this beautiful and this. Yes. Hit up our Instagram to win, and good luck.
Enjoy the show.
All right, we're recording. Cool.
Perfect.
Welcome to Citizens of the Rave. How are you guys?
Thank you for having us, man.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you for coming on. Great to meet you. Finally, we played your show.
About time.
Yeah, played your show, but we haven't actually met in real life. So, and thank you for that. That was
100%. It was dope having you guys there.
Yeah, that was Bass Bombs, right? Is that what it's called?
Bass
Bass
bombs.
bombs, yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
Always.
Always the Bass Bombs. And we did it right here, right in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
Exactly
That's
the same
sick.
spot.
Yeah, that was actually our first kitchen set. So thanks for that. It was fun.
You guys have a very vibey setup in the background. I love
Exactly.
that.
I was about to say that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Have you guys been to Vancouver before?
No, never.
Never, no.
Ah, okay. You're going to have to.
I go to Alberta like once a year just to visit some friends and family, but never Vancouver.
Oh, man.
They must love you in Alberta. Alberta's got I think such an awesome bass house scene. Like they love us there. So must really like you guys there. Have you played there or you just visit?
No, we just visit, just family and friends. Nothing specifically like EDM related yet. We'll see in the future.
Yeah, cool.
Hopefully something to come,
Yeah,
So-
definitely. Well, when you guys are in Victoria, maybe we can find a way to link up and get you guys over here.
Yeah, that'd be super cool.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. So did you guys both grow up in Toronto then?
Well, around Toronto. We say Toronto because it's easier for people to know. We're from Oakville, so just 30 minutes west of Toronto.
Yeah, I know Oakville. Cool.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to ask, did either of you go to Guelph?
No, but we visit there pretty often. We were there yesterday golfing, actually.
Yeah. So our close friends went to university there.
Yeah.
So we were all kind of spread out a little bit, but for the most part, they were in Guelph. So me and Max would constantly be up there.
Yeah. Okay. Because I saw one of your posts that about when you were showing all the university sweaters, and then you're we choose Night Base University.
Oh yeah.
And, I actually I played basketball at Guelph for 1 year.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's super cool.
I saw the Griffin logo and I was like, oh, place in my heart.
Yeah.
So did you guys grow up in Ontario then, or?
No, I just played basketball there for a year.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up out here. I lived in Calgary for a few years, but mainly Vancouver my whole life. So.
Vancouver's way better than Calgary, man. Holy.
Yeah.
Got the mountains right next to you, everything.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I do love Calgary though. Calgary's it's cool in the summer. It's too cold for me though. So I actually that's why I moved back. I'm like, fuck this.
He quit too many jobs there.
Because I was
No,
too cold. It was it was minus 30 some days. I'm I'm not going outside.
Yeah, that's
Canada for you, right?
Yeah.
There.
That's a whole nother level. That's a whole nother level.
That is most of Canada, but it's not Vancouver. Vancouver doesn't get that. We,
No.
never fucking
You
get
get rain.
Yeah, but we love the rain.
But you know what? This year has been really nice. And
Really?
the weather keeps saying that it's going to be terrible. This whole weekend was supposed to be just torrential downpour. Yesterday it was 22 degrees, beautiful, sunny. It's been a beautiful spring.
Yeah.
Really nice. I think
Nice.
summer's going to be nice.
Yeah.
Do you guys ski or snowboard at all?
We
No.
used to, but not
We
anymore.
should.
We
Jeez.
should.
I
You
know.
I know.
It's
It's
So much to
shameful.
utilize there.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
It's sad. Our friends
Our
are
biggest
all
hill in
doing it.
Ontario is your bunny hill there. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a big difference.
Yeah, we got Blue Mountain. There you go.
That's the best one.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, but we love to go to ski towns to DJ.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
Always
ideal.
Parties.
They're always the best. They're always the funnest. One of just before COVID, I think one of our best sets was in Revelstoke.
Mhm.
And
Okay. Yeah.
it was just like, I think there might have been like 200 people there or something,
300,
like not like
yeah.
a crazy show.
It's an
But
intimate
it
vibe
was a
for
crazy
sure.
show.
Just,
though.
but it was just so wild. Like everyone was, I went crowd surfing for the first time.
Après le ski,
It's
man.
just
That's
like,
the vibe.
woo!
Pray let's ski.
Yeah. And you
Yes.
feel like you can't go wrong. Like it's almost like they don't even care what you're playing. And maybe they can't even hear you.
That's awesome.
Skiers,
So
skiers, and snowboarders. I don't know what it is, but they just party the hardest.
Yeah.
They
Of
do.
anyone.
It's true,
Okay.
man.
Target market.
Yeah.
exactly.
Our actual last real show was Whistler too.
That's right.
Yeah, March 12th.
Yeah.
So,
Damn.
And then it was like, I think the next day, COVID shut everything down.
Yeah.
Like it was literally.
So
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, stuff over there in Vancouver is opening up though, right? Like
Yes.
for the
Oh,
most
yeah.
part.
Oh yeah.
That's so lucky. Still like downtown here, nothing. Like patios
Really?
just opened up this weekend.
Oh, so
So-
you're not too far. You're like a month behind us. Like we had patios,
Yeah.
now inside, and next week it's gonna be like you can drink till midnight again, like in restaurants and stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
and
yeah.
then like
Travel.
50 person outside. I think and by September it's just gonna be totally normal. They say so.
Perfect.
Yeah, we
Can't
just had
fucking wait.
patios open up this past Friday, basically.
Nice.
Sweet, yeah. So you're just a little bit behind, but you guys had it way worse than us, I think, right? Like,
Oh yeah, a lot
Yeah.
more.
It was, yeah, there was a lot.
yeah, and there's just more people and stuff. So I mean, makes sense. So yeah,
But
but,
you
I
guys-
love the East. The East is fun. Great nightlife.
Yeah. But it seems like you guys have done a really good job of keeping busy. Like, seems
Of
like you
course.
guys have been really busy. I see you in the studio lots, cranking out tunes, and you guys have been doing tons of live streams. So big ups to you guys. And like, what do you think has been like keeping you guys going? What's your motivation?
Honestly, we started out like this project through COVID. We were bored at home, nothing
Yeah.
to do. We always talked about being DJs, so we're like, you know what? Let's just try it. And then the work ethic was there. We have both of each other just to like work off the energy from each other. So it's been great. It's been super cool.
Yeah, during COVID specifically, I think we just got very, I guess not bored necessarily of the fact that we haven't been able to do anything, but you know, like the live streams were just kind of like an outlet of like, let's try and do something else. Like, let's try and grow the audience, like while nothing's happening. And it just kind of worked out perfectly. You know, Bass Bombs ended up being a really good event, and like we had you guys on, and we were like super happy with, you know, all the feedback that we got from it. And then I think, you know, the fact that the feedback was coming was just like another driving factor. Like,
Yeah.
okay, like people seem to like it. Let's do it again. Like, let's try and keep pushing.
It's like as close as you can get to like a live audience. Like
Yeah.
just that feedback.
Yeah,
Exactly.
no, 100%.
It's that feeling.
So
See, Alex has been, sorry, go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say that Alex has been DJing for the past like 2 to 3 years, I think, and like I just got started, so I've yet to perform live in front of an audience. So it's just like that's what's kind of driving me. That's been my dream for so long, just to perform in front of an audience, my tracks, our tracks, for example, and just see them vibe. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's super driving.
Sweet. Yeah. Well, I'm glad I let you talk first because that's what I was going to ask. If you guys have like,
Okay.
played any live shows together, or so you haven't played any together, obviously, because you've
No.
never even played a show before. That's so exciting. I love that.
There ain't nothing
As
like
of-
it. It's coming.
As sub Terra, we haven't had like anything specifically together.
Right.
I had a couple when like I was starting out and I was doing like Frosh Week events at like university, and like some of the clubs were starting to hire. So like I would always have him like next to me on the like, you know, on the stage, but we weren't sub Terra at that point yet. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's not the same when you're not the one playing out the tracks.
Yeah.
So we're still waiting on that first like proper live show.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Awesome. That's really exciting. So do you guys cut your teeth like practicing at home? I saw those CDJs under your bed.
What are you
there,
hiding under the bed
Alex.
there?
Oh yeah, they are there. Yeah. No, we always, you know, whenever we're having like a get together or something. I used to live in Hamilton while I was in school. Right now I'm back with my
Hammertown.
parents. Yeah, exactly. But me and my housemates were always doing something, so we'd always have like the mixers out, and you know, me and Max would be playing and have a bunch of people over. And so like when it comes to like DJing and like mixing, it's not really a problem. Like me and Max spend a lot of time in the studio as well over in Toronto. So when it comes to like recording live streams and stuff, we like to try and do it there and, you know, get more of like a proper festival vibe with like the lights going and everything kind of a little more professional. But nothing live yet. No live audience.
Yeah, it's also
That's
a
what
nice
we're waiting for.
precursor. It's also a nice precursor to like before performing live, just prepare you for like even a live audience. It's still an audience. You still get the nerves, kind of. Me personally, so it's just good to prep yourself before the actual thing.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's rare, actually. That's
Yeah.
very cool. You're gonna have to start the other way, I guess. I mean, it's interesting.
Well, who Drinks on Me was the same.
Oh, yeah, right,
We
right,
interviewed.
right.
You guys know Drinks on Me?
Yep.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
We interviewed him, and like his first record was out on Night Base, and he's never played a live show, and he's just like blowing up with all of his releases.
Oh, yeah.
He has yet to play a live show. And then another person too, who we're gonna have on the show again later, is Guns. Do you guys know Guns?
I've heard of him.
It's a girl.
I heard her music.
She like, well, we know you guys most fluently like from just being on like AC Slater's streams and knowing like your music and whatnot, but they always like raid each other, and she's awesome. She just started a DJing and streaming over the past year, but she's like streaming every single day and has a massive audience. Like every time I watch her, there's like 600 or 700 people watching, and
That's awesome.
I don't think she must not have played a live show yet either. So I think we're going to see a lot of, you know, budding DJs who come out of this.
New talent.
Yeah,
To
new
pop
talent. It's
their
really
cherry.
exciting. It's very cool. And I think it's cool that you get the opportunity to like, you know, do everything online first before. It's almost like going to college before you go to university, you know, you get to like try it out online and then go. But there's also like just something, and maybe a lot of younger generations are more used to it, but like, you know, when there's a camera on you, sometimes you act differently, and sometimes you're, you know, more acutely aware of how you're being perceived by others. And so
100%.
how do you guys feel about that?
It's kind of funny because I always felt like I was acting completely different during the live sets. But then when you go back and watch the recordings, you're like, oh, I'm totally okay. Like I'm not stressed out. I don't look stressed. It's just all internal. So it's all about mindset, I guess. And Alex has been a big help because he's had experience like actually live. So if I have trouble, for example, you're good. We just feed off each other's energy, which is awesome.
Yeah, I think the fact that there's two of us makes it a lot easier. Like specifically with cameras, I never really get too nervous because I'm constantly in front of one, whether it's like, you know, streaming or social, or you're always doing something on video. So the camera isn't too nerve wracking. Like you definitely get a little bit of butterflies here and there, but like, you know, your first couple mixes go well, and then you're vibing, you're just having a good time. And I think we've both like reached a point when it comes to those sets where we're not even really thinking about the camera. It's mostly just like, you know, you're kind of just in the zone. You're like, what song
Just
are we playing
vibing,
next?
honestly.
And you're just having fun.
And that's like the ideal mindset, right? Because if your mind is like distracted or full of irrelevant thoughts or worried about how you're being perceived, then, you know, your mental resources aren't in the moment, and you're way less likely to capitalize on what you're doing. Like to get into that like flow. So I work in sports psychology. I have a master's degree in sports psych. So I work a lot with athletes, like getting into a flow state. And a flow state is when you're not overthinking at all, you're not worrying, you're not judging, blaming, you're just completely letting go and letting your body do exactly what it knows how to do. And you literally cannot get into that state where peak performance happens if, you know, you're worried or stressed or anything like that. You have to be able to be totally engaged and connected with what you're doing. But it makes it difficult when there's a crowd, when there's distractions, when there's a camera on you. So I think it's cool that like the younger generations are so much more used to having cameras in front of them, because I know like for Josh,
That's fucking weird. I'm so used to the crowds. It's just weird because you go off the energy of like real people, and just staring at that little black dot. Suddenly, going to me, it's just like, what the hell is this shit?
Yeah.
But he used to hate it, like not want to be in front of a camera at all. Like don't take a photo of me, like nothing. And now
Nobody even had cameras when I started DJing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
not on their phones.
How long have you
anyways.
guys been like working together, like as this project, as average citizens?
Dude, we're like 7,
Just about 7
almost
years
7
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I started
Super
DJing in
cool.
2000, so nobody had cameras
Wow.
in their phones.
Yeah.
Just like ravers and vinyl in the forest.
That's
So-
sick
Yeah,
though,
yeah.
honestly.
So that
You're
was,
OG. You're OG.
Yeah,
there it
he's an OG for sure.
So, going from that to
Dedicated rave
to
bar.
only being audiences to no audience to like this camera in our kitchen is kind of like, all right. Thank God though it's Bass House because that shit is vibing. So it's not
Yeah,
like,
even if you don't feel
100%.
comfortable, you can still hype up because the bass just drives you.
Yeah.
Sick.
So I was going to ask you guys too, like why Bass House? Like, you've only been in it for a few years. Like what made you go to that? Like where did that come from?
I think, man, we've always been into EDM. Like I can remember, me and Max in grade 8, even earlier, like
Just
grade
Skrillex.
4, grade 5, like listening to Skrillex or like something along the lines of that. And I think there was just like this one, probably a couple tracks that like kind of transitioned us through high school. Like you start to kind of just get opened up to like different genres, especially when you're going really deep diving into EDM. There's like hundreds of genres. And I think we just dove a little deeper into the bass and it just kept like expanding from there. And then we found Night Bass as like a record label. And then a lot of tracks kind of came from there. So I think just a lot of the interest kind of stemmed from what we were listening to. Like we were just only listening to Bass House. So it was basically what we just naturally went towards when we were producing.
Cool. Well, this might sound biased, but you got great fucking taste.
Hey, thank you. Yeah. Likewise. It's actually funny because like there's a festival in Toronto called Veld. I don't know if you guys have heard of it.
What's it called?
I'm sorry?
Veld.
Veld. No, maybe.
No? Okay, so pretty much I think it was 2016 and our buddy plays Fly Kicks Wax Motif remix.
So
and that's
good.
the first time I heard like the Night Bass sound, for example. And that's what me personally got me hooked in that genre. I was like, just the 4x4s, the synths, all about it just suited my style. And then ever since then, I took off from there.
Yeah, I love that track. Rinse that hard to death.
Wax Motif makes like, oh man, his tracks are so fucking good.
Danny's awesome.
We've seen him live
Oh, yeah.
twice now. It's just such a
I think
such
3
a
times
vibe.
more. Yeah, more than twice.
We
No,
Yeah, it's
Ever
just-
After,
We
and then
did a New
Toronto,
Year's show
right?
with him, yeah.
we played a show with him in
Oh,
That's
really?
awesome.
in Winnipeg,
Winnipeg.
on New Year's Eve.
Wow.
It was sketch though.
It was one of the worst shows ever. There was like
Oh, really?
Well, it just the promoters were super weird, like sketchy gangster people, I guess, who had no pull, and it was like the worst like
They were, like-
storm. There's a storm, like it was just hell. To
And
go
then there
outside.
was like one other show in town, and the promoter was like poaching people from our page. Like she actually messaged me and offered
right.
me a free limo ride
yeah.
to the other show,
playing
and I was like, I'm like playing the show, like what?
Yeah.
So funny. So there was a lot of competition, and it was like the promoters who were throwing it like were hip hop promoters, and it was at like a hip hop venue. So there was just no crowd for it. And
You
then
remember the openers?
oh, and then
That
there was
fucked it
these
up.
openers who were like just like gangster rap, and they were like bleeding into the opening time slots, and we were like, okay, we're supposed to be DJing now, and they were like, no, like this is our bar, blah blah blah.
Wasn't there like a fight?
And they did like a mic drop and everything. It was
there
like
was like a fight even about
it was
it.
Really?
the worst vibes.
And
What a
then it went
crazy
into
story.
like tech, and then it went into like Epitomic, like Tech House.
Tech House,
Then
yeah.
us, and then Wax Motif. So it was just like the whole thing was such a fucking train wreck.
It was
Just a weird disconnect. Yeah.
And then they got this Playboy model to come and host the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
So it was just it was the weirdest like
You
Winnipeg
got the full
like
spectrum
biker
of
night.
all music genres, honestly.
fucking weird.
Jesus.
yeah.
That's what happens
It was
when
like at an arcade.
bikers throw shows. Yeah.
I mean, we had a good time.
But he
and
was,
it
he was great guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good night for
Yeah.
us. But
You guys must have so many like, interesting stories like that over the past years. Like,
yeah.
oh man, yeah. Well, I
Crazy.
used to actually throw like hip hop shows, so yeah, I got a lot of fucking funny stories.
nice.
Yeah, it's a great world.
Yeah, hip hop shows are something else.
Yeah.
Especially if you're trying to play EDM at the end. Like then
Yeah,
it just that's just not
What was,
working.
what was the crowd's reaction to you guys playing EDM after?
Well, they were like those people were there for us. Like it was almost like it kind of switched. Like some chilled and stayed, but you could see people came after and like they knew, Wax and
Yeah.
they were there for that reason and stuff. But it was just like it was like minus 30 and not well promoted, so it's just a weird night. And it was New Year's, so you just expect New Year's to be like this big awesome thing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
100%.
But yeah, I mean, I've always mixed like back in the day. Like I'd throw like I started throwing raves, but then I started like mixing in hip hop, and I've always mixed it. And there's ways to do it and have it go off, as we all know, because like festivals.
Yeah,
and stuff,
100%.
but,
Josh brought Snoop Dogg to a rave.
Yeah.
No
Like,
way.
That he
Really?
was like
That would be awesome.
way
It was
ahead of his
awesome.
time. What
It
year was
awesome.
that?
It's 2008. 2008.
Like before
Wow.
festivals, like EDM festivals and stuff were really like popping off and like actually mixing. Like he did that.
Yeah, I actually did a few.
I
I started
wasn't
a few
around
years
for that,
before
but I
with
thought it was pretty
Coolio. Coolio was my first hip hop like headliner that I brought to like a full on all night rave.
Yeah.
That was in like in the bush.
Do you guys know Coolio?
I
Never
don't
heard of him,
personally.
no.
You know Coolio, like you know, like he's
No.
got a lot of. Yeah, I guess he's he's pretty old school like.
1, 2, 3, 4. Get your woman on the floor. Gotta
Yeah.
get up to get down.
You know, Gangster's
Nothing?
Paradise. You know, Gangster's
Maybe
Paradise.
if I heard it, like if I actually heard the track, I'm sure I'd recognize it.
Living in a gangster's
Gangster's
paradise.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh yeah, okay,
Yeah,
yeah, I know that track.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah. It's really old. Like I think that was like '94 or something, maybe.
yeah.
But anyways, he was like the first one that I laced that with, and then from there we just kept doing it year after year. But it works if you do it right, for sure.
Exactly. The
100%.
execution has to be there, but when it is, it's
Yeah.
super fire.
Yeah.
It's the best of both worlds. Like
Yeah.
I love rap and I love EDM. So when they're executed well, it's just
Yeah.
perfect.
And you just build it up. Like these things went till 10 in the morning. So the hip hop only, it's over at midnight and then, DJ time. So
full
Yeah,
rave
yeah.
time. That's great. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, it doesn't always mix really in a club scene. So that was a weird night. But anyways,
Yeah, it's hard to mix.
still.
But what is like? We've never played in Toronto, and yeah,
Together.
we were wondering like what is the scene like there for bass house and for this kind of like underground music? Is there a scene going on there? Like we're just what's
Not
it
as big as we'd like it to be. There are artists like 𝐿𝐥𝐭𝐡𝐲, for example, a prominent like bass house name. They visit like during tour, for example, but there's not like a every weekend kind of. I can go to the club and just jam out to my favorite EDM tracks. Mostly
Yeah.
just hip hop down here.
There's like
Hip-hop,
some underground kind of like clubs, like
Just mostly
Coda, for example.
Techno clubs, though,
Coda,
yeah.
Yeah, it's like techno, tech house kind of stuff. We know Taka Taka, who do a bunch of like kind of like more underground
Right.
kind of shows and stuff. So we've kind of been like linking up with them and trying to go to some of that stuff. But for the most part, it's like the mainstream clubs are most of the time playing like hip hop.
right?
I know Red Bull, which is like probably the biggest one in Toronto, has like its little EDM room, and then like the main room is most of the time hip hop. But like oftentimes they do bring like some DJs. Like for example, we saw Wax Motif in Rebel in like the side room when he came, and I believe that was part of his tour as well.
Okay.
But it's mostly like touring artists that come around. Yeah.
Okay.
That's interesting. You'd think it'd be a little bit bigger there, being how many people are there, and like I know there's a lot of bass house fans in Toronto. So
You guys got to build the
Yeah,
scene.
you guys gotta do it.
That's
putting
what we're
on.
trying to
We're
do.
trying to do it. We're trying to do it.
Get on it.
Well, you're off to a really good start. That's for sure.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we're,
Thank you.
we're very lucky here. Like we get everybody in bass house. Like Blueprint.
Yeah.
Even if it's sometimes small club, but they always come through. So if their tour is happening, we get everybody. So
Yeah.
which is surprising because Toronto's way bigger, better nightlife. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I can see the hip hop there. The whole OVO thing and everything. So
Well, yeah, you have
Exactly.
like Drake as like the main ambassador of Toronto. You can't really expect anything else, but
yeah,
it's slowly growing. It's slowly getting somewhere.
Oh, you got your work cut out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. But it makes it that much more like satisfying when it happens, though. So that's once again a driving force for sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
Totally. Okay, so producing for you guys, how did that all happen? What DAW are you using? Like, did you teach yourselves? Like, tell me.
Actually,
everything.
Alex started on FL and I was on Ableton.
Yeah.
And then I was making a track. He loved it. And we started out both with our own respective DAWs. And then slowly, inch by inch, I convinced him to try Ableton for a track.
Yeah.
And he tried it. And then very next day, he's like, Max, I'm getting Ableton. I have to.
Yeah.
And ever since then, it's just been Ableton for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it started out like I've been like playing around with producing for, a couple of years. Never really took it too seriously. I believe like probably 2 years ago, started kind of making like my own tracks and doing stuff on FL and like trying to take it a little more serious and learning. And then there was a point where, I was starting to finish up some tracks and I was releasing under my other alias, which was Amavi at the time. And then Max had started getting to like DJing and stuff. And, he was coming out to clubs with me when I was DJing. and he started making tracks on Ableton. And just one of the times he just sent me over a track to like get some feedback, and I really liked it. And I was like, you know what? Well, like we both are so into EDM, and you know, Max has been my best friend since I can remember, like ever since I moved to Oakville, like in 3rd grade or in 2nd grade, I believe.
Wow.
Yep,
Like
3rd grade.
we've been like best friends. So like, you know, I'm always with them. We might as well try something together. And I just feel like when we had 2 of us, you know, it drives you to be producing more. And so it just kind of worked out, and we started making tracks together. And then I believe the very first one that we made was a remix of Soundwave by Tacky New Light. And like we started sending it around, and Dr. Fresh played it out, and we were just like, all right, let's just push it.
We're
you know,
fully
Dr.
committed
Fresh,
now,
yeah,
yeah.
we're committed now. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we got our first track out onto the scene, and screw it, you know, like just go
Doctor
all
approved. Yeah, it's a nice
Exactly,
send off
exactly.
to start it up.
That's really rare.
Yeah.
To
Yeah,
have,
no,
like,
100%.
one of your first tracks supported by someone who's so coveted and big in the scene.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
good
And I know you
sign.
guys have been having your tracks supported by like AC Slater on his streams too. So I think that means that you guys are, you know, doing it right.
Yeah,
Which is
hell yeah.
awesome.
Shout out to them for doing those demo streams and stuff. It
For
just
real.
gives artists a platform to actually grow themselves, and also just experiment with new samples, for example, or whatever they're doing. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Creative way to make COVID work.
Exactly.
100%.
It's like I don't think that shit really
No,
maybe
it's
would have
so
happened.
cool. Like,
No.
I love how I feel like the scene is so much more cohesive now. And
Yeah.
because when I first started out in the scene, it felt like very competitive. It didn't feel, and it shouldn't be, you know, because as a DJ, you're constantly supporting other people's music, playing other people's
Exactly.
music,
100%.
pulling inspiration. So it shouldn't be a competition. And there's so many parties, there's so many festivals, there's so many live streams, there's so much success to go around for everybody. It doesn't need to be a competition. It should be about like bringing each other up and supporting each other and giving a platform for other artists. So I think it's so fucking cool to see artists like Dr. Fresh and AC Slater and like Space Yacht guys are doing a lot of live streams and stuff, but just giving a
Yeah.
platform for these up and coming artists, which is so cool because that's what it's about.
That's
it's
how
like
it
let's
started
all
in
the
help
90s.
each other out.
Plur,
Like
baby.
Plur.
Yeah.
Hey.
People, you know, she's right. People
Exactly.
kind of lost that a bit. It did become a bit competitive,
Yeah.
but this made us all be like, whoa, the whole world stopped.
We all have great
what
music.
really
Let's just
matters.
vibe to it together, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Plur.
it's like if you guys like show up with your best work and I show up with my best work, like all of our best work gets better.
Yeah.
And like I
Yeah.
think,
Oh, 100%.
you know, and I think that like we're just seeing such a boom in this industry because like you guys just pretty much started this whole project, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's
It was
been,
like April
Yeah, about
a
a
year
year.
ago.
yeah. And like for you
It's
guys
crazy.
to already, you know, making music at the caliber that you are is awesome. That's so cool. And like the reason that you're able to do that partially is because you're able to have the support of those types of people around you
Yeah.
to help give
all
that
the
platform.
feedback, all the
And
support.
feedback,
You
yeah.
can just message
Yeah.
any DJ, like most DJs, and they'll respond to you. They'll listen to your track and be like, "This is what I don't like. This is what I like." And it's
Yeah.
just so much more feedback than I'm assuming it'd be like back then, like you said,
Yeah.
more
Oh, for
competitive.
sure it is. So you can say thanks to COVID, but now it's like we get it. You can go now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're
No,
done.
100%.
Thank you, next.
Yeah, that's Ariana Grande right there. Yeah,
Just don't forget it though. Don't let
That
it
would
don't
be-
let it slip out in the next few years.
That'd be a good bootleg right now.
Yeah.
thank you.
Next.
Hey, that could be sick. That could be sick.
Yeah. I'm so grateful for my vax.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
I'm just kidding. I'm
shit.
not vaccinated.
I'm not either, actually.
It just rhymed.
Yet.
I almost didn't say it. I was like, don't say it. Don't say it. Oh, she said it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Couldn't help it. Cool. Okay. So you mentioned like some of the things that that you guys think are great that you're a duo. What is something challenging about being a duo, about being in a partnership? for you
I
guys?
also work full time for my dad's roofing company, and just like finding time while coming home from a 12-hour shift and getting that motivation sometimes to come home, drive to Alex's, for example, and try to work on a track together. It's been super difficult, not super difficult, but one of the challenges to actually like, you know, motivate myself to create some music. And that's why also it's kind of a benefit because like with that second person, he sends out an idea and he's like, what do you think of this? Instantly it inspires me. I'm instantly working on a new idea, and it's just it's okay. It's bearable for sure.
Yeah, I feel like it's like kind of like both sides of like challenges, but they kind of swap over to benefits. Like, you know, both of us are constantly working. Like, you know, I have my business on the side, and so we're both constantly busy, but we have to try and find the time to, like, you know, get out there and make something new. So it's just about that. But I think it also, like Max said, it just translates over to a benefit, because you see one person out of the duo, like working on a new track or working on a new idea, and it inspires you to create something new just because you're like, oh, hey, he's working right now, so now I'm kind of accountable to work on something as well. And we have like, I feel like we've gotten into a nice kind of workflow, because we're both constantly like creating new ideas of tracks. But then when we get together, we finish up on certain ideas. So like if, for example, we put out a couple ideas or send each other a couple of ideas within the week, you know, we'll only finish a couple of them, which we really, really do stand out at us, because like that's all we kind of have the time to be able to finish.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love that part. I love that we can bounce off each other. Like it's
Exactly. Same as you guys, Mr.
duos have
Mayor.
me up. You know, when you're by yourself, it's just you, and you're like, all right. You ask your friends, who will just always be like, I love it. You know?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Every time I finish the song, like, Mom, how do you like it? She's like, oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, of course.
Send it to Alex, and like this could be better. You can work on this. I'm like, yeah. That's what I like about us as well. We're very like honest with each other, even though we're like best friends. There's no bullshit here. We're gonna talk about like the reality of our tracks, and or like we're gonna criticize it properly.
Yeah, and you got it because it's your track. It's both yours.
Exactly.
If you lied to each other, that would just, that'd be whack, right?
Exactly.
You'd be hurting yourself. So
100%.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we've reached a point where we become kind of like perfectionists with our tracks. So it reaches a point where it's like constantly we're trying to improve it. I guess another challenge that comes out of that is like telling yourself a point of like, okay, the track is done here. You know, I've spent 100+ hours like remixing it and mixing it again and creating another version to try and like see which one's better. But I think like reaching a point of like, hey, this track is done here. Like, let's just set it aside. If we don't like it, let's not release it. But like we have it there in case we change our minds, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of value in like putting something to bed for a while. Because
even if you don't release it, it's just still a learning experience. Like you said, we're still in the early phases of our production. So every track we made, we're learning something new with a plugin and or like our workflow, anything involving production. It's just constantly learning, which is sick.
Yeah,
learning and finishing is so important. Like that's one of the big things they taught.
That was one of my issues in the beginning. Actually, I'd always make like the first intro and drop. Like I was like, finish this track, bro. Like, yeah, I'll finish it. And I'll start a new track, and I got a pile up of like 50 to 100 songs that haven't been finished. So
that's bad. That's a bad fucking habit. And
in
the school, like, do not do that.
No, I know.
Shit.
It's good.
Exactly.
It's good to do that, but you have to like, if you only learn how to problem solve for like part of the process, then you're not. It's going to be way harder to push through that, because you got to learn how to problem solve throughout the whole process. But do you guys do your own mixing and mastering too, or do you outsource for that?
We actually outsource our mastering. The mixing I do, like once we're completely done with the track, most of the time, like, Max will come over to my studio, and then we'll just kind of sit down. We'll finalize everything that we really like about the track, take out anything we don't want. And I'll do a mix down on my speakers, and then I'll do a proper mix down on my headphones to like get it sounding to the point that we want it. And then what's nice is like our mastering engineer, because he's actually in the UK, so we use 𝐟𝐢𝐥𝐿 to master, which we actually found randomly on Skepsis' story. Like he just reposted something, and we were like, oh, Skepsis uses this guy, like let's try him out. So we tried him out, and like he's really helpful as well, because he has a great ear for like certain things and finding like just very specific frequencies that aren't working, like when the master is actually getting done. So he'll send it back, and he'll be like, hey, like there's like these couple sections that, maybe you could tweak a little bit of this and change it here. So it's nice to actually have his feedback during the mastering process as well, because, like we thought about it for a long time of like, do we want to master it ourselves? But there's people who put so much money into like the DAW and into the plugins that they're using to master, and they've been doing it for so many years that they have like this experience like overload that we just don't have when it comes to mastering. So might as well get someone who does this as like their full-time job to do it like as best as he possibly can, and then send it back to us, right? What do you guys do for mastering?
Yeah, we outsource for mastering. But I mean, really, like to speak to kind of what you're talking about, like it's more about the mix than anything. Like if you give a shitty mix,
100%.
you're not going to be, because the master is like essentially like, making everything fat, boosting it, like making it loud.
It's that final 10%.
Exactly. And so if you have a lot of problems in your mix, making it loud is just going to make it sound shitty. And obviously they can still like cut and boost and attenuate and whatever areas that they need. But like if you have a shitty mix, it's not going to sound good.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
It's good to have an extra set of ears and having a team. It's just smart.
Yeah.
It's good. That's all the big people do it. I mean, mostly anyways.
Yeah.
Because
Agree
they
with
got
you on
those
that.
studios, right? Like if you're, and especially like with us, like we make it here, so be able to send it to somebody having a big studio, hear things we don't hear. Like you need that. It's nice.
Properly sound treated as well, like everything. Like
Yeah. That's cool.
What do you guys think? Well, I was going to ask you, like, what do you think has been like your biggest challenge so far? But I feel like you guys like started out in like the most challenging terrain.
The most challenging time as possible.
yeah.
But what's been like hard for you guys?
I don't know. It's I think everything flows pretty nicely between like Max and I. Like we both kind of have like our separate skill set. Even when it comes to like producing or marketing, for example, right? Like I do all the visuals and like the social stuff just because that's what like my business is basically. Like I do like design and like website design and all that stuff. So it comes to me kind of naturally. And then production stuff, we're both constantly like researching and watching videos about how to do things. I don't think there's like any challenges like between us. I don't know, maybe Max, you have an idea, but
You guys are honeymoon phase still.
Yeah, we were
maybe,
back to this question in like 2 years.
Yeah,
We'll
who
do
knows?
A follow-up
Like
interview in a couple years with y'all. You can
Like
tell us
we
what
have-
happens.
We'll do a second interview.
Yeah,
in 2 years.
About
How are you
your
guys doing
problems.
now? Yeah, specifically about that.
No,
No, we'll
hopefully
come
it's the
back.
same.
We'll come back saying no issues.
Yeah, there
smooth
you go.
sailing.
That's what's up.
Well,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we're just
You
making
started in
music
COVID.
and exactly. At the end of the day, we're just making music and having fun with it. Like if we're treating it like, well, obviously it's kind of like a dream of ours and a job opportunity, but we have to treat it like a hobby and like don't stray away from the fun part of it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's just you're vibing to your own stuff
Yeah, man.
creatively.
Yes, gotta have fun always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. That's like one of our like core competencies, or like our mission is like to always put enjoyment first and to always have fun with it. And like, even if you're like sitting down to produce and you start producing and then like that voice in your head is like, oh, like you should have spent more time with this, or, like you're not good enough, or that sounds like shit, or like there's just no room for that. Like you have to, for us, it's like get to a place where it's fun and it's enjoyable. And we always try to make decisions and everything we do come from like a place of love. And when you use that as your compass, it just always steers you in the right direction. And then it becomes
Exactly.
easy and everything feels like it's flowing. But I mean, there's definitely been like rough times for us, and it hasn't always been super joyful, but it certainly in the past year or year and a half, we've been like, okay, this is our biggest priority. It's the most important piece for us, is to make sure that we're enjoying it. Cause it's like nothing else fucking matters, man. Like
It doesn't.
all the
It
record
doesn't.
labels, all the Beatport top 10s, like none of that shit matters if you're not enjoying it. And like, I
yeah,
think
no,
that
100%.
everyone thinks like you have to have success and you have to reach and clamor for all of these things. But like, once you get there, then you just build a new perspective, and then you're looking to the next, and then the next, and the next, and next. And it's
It'll
like,
never end.
it never
Tell your
ends.
dad.
I just feel like people think that success is super linear, and it's just like, especially in the music industry, it's like you never know when you're gonna blow up or what's gonna happen. You just kind of like, music has no boundaries, no rules. You're just kind of riding the wave.
I love that.
Or if even if you ever will, like there is so many DJs in the underground scene who give a fuck about blowing up and are having the best life ever. And the best
Exactly.
way,
they're just,
you know?
Exactly.
So whatever, you know your why and stick to it and don't forget it and you'll be good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
oh, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, like, for every other person, like, success is very differently defined, right? Like, one DJ may not want to, you know, be the next like huge international, like constantly touring kind of like DJ. Like maybe he just wants to play at underground clubs, right? Like you never really know what people want to do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even like 𝐟𝐢𝐥𝐭𝡡𝐲 said that. Like, you know, he's like, I love shows, it's great, but he's like, what I love is making the tracks, being in the studio. You know what I mean? Like that's his thing. And he has
That's where you get in the zone.
He has like 5 aliases because of that. It's because he, you know,
That's
he
crazy.
loves it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I love him. Yeah, he's great. You guys know 𝐟𝐿𝐥𝐭𝡡𝐲, right? Obviously.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah,
Hey,
he's
you guys
great.
should watch the interview we did with him. It's really good.
𝐿𝐥𝐿𝐥𝐿 or 𝐿𝐥𝐿. He's also 𝐿𝐥𝐿 and like all these other things. But
I
that's
know.
his thing, right?
I know for a fact he has like multiple aliases. Yeah. Just because he produces so much music.
Yeah. And he's just got so many feels in the studio, so he just had to actually create all these people. Like he's you know, he's like, don't get me wrong, I love DJing, it's obviously awesome.
Yeah.
But I'd rather this. Like, you know, that's in the back cave, he calls it.
The Batcave.
That's it.
Yeah. It's all
How
about
many
your why, man.
episodes?
It's like, you know, that's your own, like you said, it's your success is here. What do you what is success? Well, it's up to you.
What you interpret it as, for sure.
Yeah.
What were you gonna ask? Sorry.
Oh, how many episodes of these podcasts have you guys done so far? Just curious.
Well, so Citizens of the Rave, we started fresh when we changed our name because we used to be Average Gypsy, and then we changed it to Average Citizens, and we just like rebranded everything, and so we've only done 7 episodes of Citizens of the Rave, but before our podcast was called Friends with Benefits, and we did
20 something,
20
I
or
think,
something.
20, 30. Those were the live ones we're doing on Instagram.
Yeah, and they were all live on Instagram. It was really fun, but
there's a couple on Instagram as Citizens of the Rave, Dread MC and Hotfire, I think.
Yeah.
But then we moved it to YouTube because, you know, it's cooler.
It's cooler.
So why the So why the name change?
Yeah, so gypsy can be considered a derogatory term. And, you know, when we called ourselves Average Gypsy, we obviously did not mean it in a derogatory way.
No, 100%.
At all. For us, it was more about like the North American version of gypsy is like to be, you know, like free-spirited and an entertainer and a traveler and someone who kind of like goes against the grain. But gypsy can be considered a derogatory term, like the word gypped, like you gypped me, is actually derived from the term gypsy. And because they were known to, so there's kind of like a long story behind it, but so the gypsies, the Romani people, came to Europe and they had dark skin. They were actually from India, but people thought that they were from Egypt because they had dark skin. So they called them gypsies. And they kind of got ostracized from society. And so they couldn't work. They couldn't get a job. They couldn't land somewhere to live. So they became nomadic. And a lot of them were like entertainers and storytellers and musicians. But a lot of them also resorted to stealing because they couldn't, you know, they couldn't make money. And so then they got a bad rep. And so gypsy became a very derogatory term. So long story short, just there's a lot of people who are Romani who find that term to be very offensive. And so as the world was turning and, you know, COVID was happening and then all of these like social injustices were bubbling to the surface with, you know, like Black Lives Matter and just tons of different things were happening. And we were like, this is the time to change. Like, this is not something that's aligned with us. Like, we don't, if our name is making anybody feel oppressed or, you know, people were like calling us racist and just like, it just
about
it was,
that. We just want to DJ.
Exactly.
Got to
you don't want that energy in the air.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%.
Exactly.
And it was a small thing, but, you know, but it doesn't matter. We don't, you know, we just, We want everyone to be happy.
It's easier just to change the name.
It's all good.
Yeah, we're like, we just want to make music and
things change.
Yeah, no, 100%.
dance, and so we changed it. And since we did, it's been like a weight was lifted off of us, because there's always that, in the back of your mind, you're like, oh man, am I offending somebody? And you just don't. It's like literally like stifles creativity.
You don't want that to like under. What's the word I'm trying to say? Okay, never mind. I forget.
Just like
I know what you're trying
like
to get
undermines your music.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a rough
underlying
few
stress. That's what I was trying to say. You don't want that underlying stress in your life, honestly.
Yeah.
And we were like, the reason it was Average Gypsies, because I was Average Citizen was my DJ name. She was Neon Gypsy. So we came together, and then we're like, let's just do the Average Citizens, because, we all are. So
Yeah.
it is.
Back to
Exactly.
the roots.
Yeah. And now this is Citizens of the Rave.
Yeah.
Welcome to the
Nice.
show.
That's all of us.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's all of us,
That's
man.
all of us. That's
Yeah,
right.
It's all of us.
So, okay. So do you guys have any bookings lined up? Anything coming in yet? I know that shows are starting to roll a bit.
Not
Nothing
bookings
here.
specifically in Toronto. Yeah, it's everything's like so closed down. We've been doing a lot of stuff with like Taka Taka, which is Mikey Palermo and like Luke Tone and Boucher. So they, have a lot of experience and like stuff in Coda.
Yeah.
For us, it's mostly like the releases have just kind of been piling in, and like I feel like we've gotten very lucky with like how much appreciation there is for the music that we're putting out. So it's just kind of like now we have a bunch of music lined up with labels that we're excited about, and it's just like head first into the production, and the live shows will come.
Totally.
The live shows will
Exactly.
come, but we'll
Yeah, the music's been tight. We're gonna play some on the Instagram clip. So yeah.
Awesome.
nice, sweet.
It's
Yeah,
been
we were
good. I love
playing-
the tracks you give us.
Yeah. And we put one of your tracks in our Canadian mix too.
Yeah, that's right. We did.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
yes, we got to give that a
Which
listen.
One, which one was
Yeah,
that?
it's not
What-
out yet,
What are
but-
the two that you gave us again? Do you
We
remember?
gave you guys Cold Blooded,
Yeah.
which is the 3000 bass one, and then
Yeah.
there was one called Question.
I
as
think
well.
it was Question. Was it Question?
I can't remember.
It was more like a
it's
tech
very-
house kind of like groovy, like
126 slower
maybe
BPM.
It's
Yeah.
Cold Blooded.
It's Cold-Blooded.
Was Cold Blooded? Was it? Was it? What are the lyrics in Cold Blooded?
something about cold-blooded murder.
Okay, it was very like trappy. It was,
Something along
it was
lines,
badass.
yeah.
I don't think it wasn't
It's not
techie. It was
techie.
very
Very,
badass.
it's very
Yeah,
bassy.
that's the
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
you
So
used, yes.
probably that
Sick
one.
tune,
Yeah.
sick tune.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were actually putting them in these shows, but YouTube keeps canceling us, so
Yeah.
we decided to just do it on the Instagram clips.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So, yeah, listen for that. It's fucking badass. I love it.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a few more questions for you before we wrap up.
Yeah.
We're gonna ask you guys like a series of questions that are like kind of rapid fire. So don't have to think too much about it. Just like say whatever comes from the heart.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, so maybe Max, you can go first on this one, and then Alex. Okay.
Okay.
Success is
Joy.
Alex.
Happiness.
Okay.
It's synonymous, but like
Failure is.
I don't know, just trying again, just getting back up. Learning. Knowledge.
Failure is. Whew, that's a tough one. I guess just probably. Oh, I have no answer for that one. I'm not sure.
Maybe there is
You,
no.
you guys
maybe
had no
there's-
answer for that. Or the
Maybe
challenges.
there's-
I love it.
no
It's
success
honestly-
failure.
That's tough.
That's a good
Good.
thing. That's a good thing.
You'll get there.
Well,
Exactly.
no, I got to I like that you're stumped on that because I don't think that there is failure. I think there's just learning.
Exactly.
You know,
yeah.
like-
That's what Max said. Yeah.
I
It's
think-
how you perceive it, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can like let it affect you, or you can move on and learn from it and try to grow as a person, as a
Yeah.
brand.
For
Yeah.
sure. I would say failure would be giving up when that happens.
Yes,
That's a good one.
failing to learn.
Yeah. Or yeah, just being like, giving up because some shit happens.
Yeah.
That would be
Exactly.
To me, that'd be failure.
Yeah.
Okay. A great song is
Skank and Flex by Taiki Newline and Wax Motif.
fuck yeah. it
Good
is.
one.
I was gonna
favorite.
say "Police" by Silk.
Oof.
Also,
Ooh.
fire, dude.
That one's a good one right
I
now.
love that.
You're the first people to actually
Yeah.
name songs. I will say that most people describe a great song, so that's cool.
Okay, but I want to hear.
that.
I want to
True
hear
DJs.
like a great song to me is like
Ooh.
how would you describe it?
Yeah.
Like what does it mean to have a great song?
I like your answers, though.
But those are great answers too. But I want to know your answer to this one too.
Yeah.
Emotion on paper.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'd say the main thing would just be like a continuous vibe, like an understanding of kind of what you're going for, like telling a proper story. Like I feel like every song is like a proper storytelling of like some kind of emotion that you're,
Yeah.
like Max said, putting on paper.
Yeah. Make me feel something.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Max, you go first for these last couple ones. Alex. Did I say Alex? Alex,
Yes.
go
You
first.
said Max, but it's okay.
You guys know what I meant.
Exactly.
Happiness is.
Music, I would say.
I would say family, friends, and experiences.
Cool.
I love
Great
I
answers.
love it.
Yeah. My advice to artists is
It's you first, Alex.
I'm trying to make it something good. I feel like just don't forget, I guess, what you're trying to do in the first place. Like that's the first thing that comes to mind. Like whatever you come up with, whatever, ideas you're trying to portray, someone is going to like it somewhere. Just keep doing you.
I would say don't look ahead too far and don't let it discourage you.
I love your
advice.
guys' mindsets.
Yeah.
You guys are going in the right direction. I love it. Okay, wait, before I ask you the last one, I'm just curious, because you said don't forget like why you're doing it. So why are you doing this?
I think it's just for the love of music. Like, I'll speak for myself and I'll let Max answer from his perspective. Like, I have always enjoyed music, like from a kid, like from being a very small kid. Like my mom was playing piano when I was growing up, and that's what initially got me into piano. So like from a very young age, I was playing piano and like learning classical and then trying guitar and like trying new things. So music has always been like a very close part growing up. And I think it's just something that I naturally like connected with emotionally as well. Like I feel like just personally, like I'm a pretty emotional guy, but like when it comes to music, like I can get really into the zone, and that's what's kind of driving me with this stuff.
Yeah, like Alex said, me and Alex actually had the same piano teacher. So I did like Alex, my parents put me into music. I didn't really do any team sports growing up. It was mostly just like choir, piano, and ballroom dancing. So just like my love of music is it's all crazy. Yeah. But just appreciating all types of music, whether it be jazz, ballroom, piano, classical. Just this bass music is what I ended up on, but it just, living with that. Just I listen to music all day, every day, just like being able to make your own and having people listen to it and like it is awesome. So that's for me.
talk about
I think
polar
that's
opposites there.
I think that's the coolest part about like being specifically a producer or DJ is just seeing people like vibe with your stuff. I think like that's the highest high you could probably have.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Like it's just
Because
seeing
it's an
someone
extension
enjoy
of
it.
you.
Yeah.
It's an extension of you. So it just around the world, people are liking you or in your music. So it's super cool.
One of my mentors once told me, he was like the greatest like reward you can get from people is if they like make out to your music.
Yes. That's awesome.
Your mentor, I love that.
And then
He's an awesome guy.
but it was just like he was just trying to push me to be like, don't take it too seriously.
Yeah.
Like just like you're like really at the end of the day, like that's your highest like reward. So just shut up and have some fun
Keep
with
smiling,
it. You
man.
know?
Keep
'Cause-
smiling.
Yeah, no, 100%.
So whenever I see people making out, I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Actually,
That's
we've
a
seen
cool
lot
analogy.
More than that.
Yeah, some people actually
Oh,
had
God.
sex while we were DJing once.
Oh my
That
god.
was fuck. We're like, is
Right
That
on,
is
right on the
crazy.
dance floor.
is that happening? Was it? But off to
Really?
the
We've
side.
seen
It was like some
blowjobs.
weird bush rave. Oh yeah, blowjobs in the DJ
In the
booth.
DJ booth,
I
we
was
were like,
like,
oh,
really?
That's wild, man.
Get that thing away from
So
me.
you surpassed kissing, man. You've leveled up.
Yeah.
You guys,
Evolved.
Mouth
you guys
hugs.
have seen so much more than we have. Holy.
Yeah.
You got a lot to
It's
look
exciting.
Shit
though.
we can't talk about.
But you know what I want to see that I've never seen is a DJ ballroom dancing.
That's why I said the
Ooh.
polar opposite.
I'll pull up next time.
Yeah.
I'll pull up. I'll stand on top of the booth and just do my little cha-cha or
Yeah.
whatever you want.
That's way off from Bass House. So
I can't
cool
believe you
that
guys
went there.
haven't done that
Yeah.
on TikTok yet, to be honest.
That'd blow up for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
There you
sure.
go.
Yeah, and just like make it way faster.
Exactly.
Max, you got a video idea,
Screw
man.
shuffling.
Let's
Just do
go,
some
bro.
ballroom dancing.
Let's go. Let's go.
Awesome.
Wicked.
Oh man.
Okay, one more question.
Yeah.
Okay, Max. If you could be any day of the week, what day of the week would you be, and why?
Thursday. I don't know why. Just like, for example, when I'm working, I feel like when Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are all like finished up, Thursday is like that weekend before the weekend. It's like it feels like a Friday, but it's not a Friday.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a good day, honestly.
It's like a Beatport pre-order.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh yeah, good one.
I'm a Thursday too.
Nice. Why?
Yeah, same kind of thing. I just feel like throughout the week, like if I've gotten my shit together and like I've worked hard all week, it's like Thursday comes, the weekend's at bay, and it just, oh man, it's just like it's just got this like vibe to it where it's like almost the weekend. And I think also when we were like DJing and touring a lot, it was oftentimes that would be a travel day and it'd be like fun because you're like going to play a set or going on tour or whatever for the weekend. So yeah, there's like
That's
a
sick.
certain excitement to Thursday for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what about you?
Alex?
I would say Monday because it's a
Cool.
fresh start.
Finally.
Fresh start. It's a
I'm
reset.
on Monday. You're the first one to say that.
Nice. Wow.
I feel like it's like a great day. You know, you get to reset for the whole week. You get to
Yes.
start over. You know, maybe something too good didn't happen last week, but you know, this is a brand new week. You got your life ahead of you. You're all good.
I love it.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That's my exact
awesome.
answer.
Great.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's your day tomorrow, bro.
Yeah.
There we go.
Everyone else is like, fuck you guys.
Yeah, fuck, it's Monday, bro. I gotta wake up at 5:30, man.
Oh shit. Man, it was really good talking to you guys. I had fun.
You as well, guys.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us on again.
Yeah.
Love your
Welcome.
mindset.
Really appreciate
And
it.
We'll
yeah,
be-
I gotta say, like I'm really impressed with your mindset and the way that you guys are, you know, talking about like taking it one day at a time and just being super appreciative and doing it for the love of music. And it's really nice to see that, and I commend you for that. And we've really been enjoying your music. And yeah, keep it up
Keep it up.
and
Keep it
pave
up.
that scene out in Toronto because we want to roll
Dude,
through.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll invite you guys over for
100%.
sure. Honestly, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hit us up when you come out
Same thing goes-
to the island.
Exactly.
Yeah,
We'll be
we
there
will,
the first
we
week of
will.
August, so we'll send you
Cool.
guys a DM. We can link up.
Yeah,
Doesn't
let's
matter.
do it. Let's do it. We'll hang.
That'd be awesome.
Awesome. Okay, well,
Sweet.
you guys
Cool.
enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for your time.
Yeah.
You too,
And,
guys.
we'll look forward to seeing you again soon.
Yeah. See you guys.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.